And Deus Ex Meus.
I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured.
Okay. No offense, Acro, but it's been 6 months, so you are clearly still working out. Even if you did have a great upper body when you were an acrobat, you haven't been doing that for 6 months. Your body would have deteriorated if you didn't keep it up, and judging from your body, you're clearly keeping up.
Yeah, he's got some good weight somewhere, doesn't he?
I think in his actual room, he has weights.
Yeah, I actually think I saw that. And also other equipment to literally strengthen the upper body I saw.
And I'm sure you can just talk to Money. Hey, Money, I need a new weight set. A very shiny weight set.
Yeah, like a giant tuba.
So this dude is jacked. He's clearly still working out, and he could easily... I bet he could lift the bus with one hand above his head.
Wait, what? Wait.
To be honest.
A bus? Oh, the bus. No, not a bus.
Bust.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I thought the bus.
He can also fly and shoot laser beams, so he can also lift a bus with one hand, because he's super acro.
Oh, yeah, super acro.
Powered by birds.
Yeah, he can talk to birds, apparently. However, lifting the bus and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body.
Which is true.
I guess.
His lower body is really weak because it's paralyzed.
Yeah.
So, he's not wrong. He couldn't both lift a bus and lift himself up to look out the window to drop it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he could not have done that.
So how did he do it?
I think
I know the answer, but how did he do it?
I think he used a lever system, like a pull system. With wires and such.
But he still can't see.
Yeah, so he would have done it blindly. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? Because I don't think...
So how did he aim?
That's a good question. I guess we'll find out later. I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention is that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright?
I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination.
He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really.
Ugh, can't let her get to me. Gotta focus.
The physical state, okay.
I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. Have you ever lifted up the bust before?
No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own 2 hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? I can let money outdo me on this. I can let money outdo me on this. Money? That's right, it's you.
Ah, that crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before? That monkey's jacked.
Yeah, that monkey's doing a lot of shit. Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling.
Like, seriously, that monkey is jacked.
Oh, yeah.
Strong upper body from working as an acrobat. I have no issues with that. So what have you been doing to keep in shape?
Well, honestly, I've given up on... No, you haven't!
You have not, dude. I'm sorry, but you have not. Like, I get you wouldn't really work on your flexibility, but you are clearly still working on your upper body strength.
Oh, yeah. It's also just...
I don't care what you say.
It also just helps you stay healthy, because you're probably gonna, never walk again, so... I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. Obviously not.
You don't say.
But, no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean, Nick.
Maya! I know I'm out of shape, but still. I should really get back in shape, honestly.
Yeah.
Gaining like 12 pounds over the last 9 months. Sucked.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
But I was without work, so I got depressed. Okay, not really, but I got lazy.
Ate a lot of burgers.
Whoa. How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden?
I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear.
Oh, that's all.
Oh.
You are clearly still lifting weights, too. Looking out the window and lifting the bust would be impossible. And why is that?
Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself.
Which is
Yeah,
true.
that is true. I still haven't got much feeling back in my legs yet. Oh, so he might actually end up walking again. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window. So
No way I could have exerted that kind of force.
So he might actually end up walking again in the future, by the sounds of it.
Possibly. How long do you think your recovery will take?
You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. Yeah, by tiger claws. Well, not tiger claws, lion claws. Still, it's the same big cats, you know. Big cat claws.
The giant cat claws and even my tiny cat's claws hurt like a bitch.
I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation. Yeah, I can imagine. But it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window.
Which is true. You would not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Why do you say it would be impossible?
Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there's no way I would know the location of the ringmaster's head.
Well, I suppose you've got a point.
Hey, Nick.
Huh?
What if you turn things around? Maybe you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust.
That does make sense.
Oh, because of the box.
If only I could prove somehow.
The box.
The Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down.
I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Need to drop the bust to him, don't you think?
We'll just do the final one. If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all.
If all I had to do was drop it, you're right, I could have done that. However, there's no way that I could have landed a direct hit on the ringmaster's head. So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright?
Acro is strong enough to lift up the bus.
The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head.
I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster.
That's the ticket, Nick! Show them what you've got!
I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case.
I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. Or maybe we overlooked something. The box. Like... Where do we present the box? Would have exerted a kind of force. Yeah, pause for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. It's either here or the next one.
I think it's this one because it's about knowing the location.
Yeah. So, the box.
So, the box is 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So if we present that... Acro, you didn't really need to lean out the window, did you?
What are you driving at, Mr. Wright?
You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add.
Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence?
But I did such a good job hinting.
Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright.
Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is this wooden box.
The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over.
The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here?
Ooh.
When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime.
I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense.
The moment that the bus came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear.
You mean... If the boss were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box...
There would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim.
No! Order! This is unbelievable!
Finally! Some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward.
So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene?
It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow!
Allow me to whip some sense into you! Mr. Phoenix, right?
Ow!
The ringmaster could have been anywhere when he lifted the box.
That's why the box was so specially made.
Specially made?
Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature.
The weight?
The box has a remarkable weight. It's super heavy.
Weight? According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds.
Just to lift up this wooden box would have required.
Oh, I see. One would have to squat down and then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say?
That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large.
The box was also carrying hands out of sight, doesn't it?
That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place.
That is again true. Fool!
Does he even bother to listen to me anymore?
I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing.
What?
Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? Yes, we know.
Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria.
And what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself.
Terrible design.
That means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten that bus from the cafeteria to my room?
Money?
Yeah, money.
I mean, apparently you've hinted that money can lift the goddamn bust.
Yep.
Like, seriously, what the fuck is this monkey?
Yeah, that's a really strong monkey. I swear, if it's an orangutan. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright explains that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice.
Ah!
Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria.
Yep. We definitely have a problem here. This is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all.
Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? Money.
That's the only thing I can think of, this uber-strong monkey.
Yeah, money. A monkey?
Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size.
Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust?
Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home.
Home?
Money lives in Acro's room.
Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record.
My, those are very nice cards he's holding.
Very shiny ones, too. Yes, and they were made of platinum. Which is very shiny. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? Well, no fucking duh. It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room.
If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order, order! I said order! Miss Von Carver! Where is the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We are searching for it as we speak. This is a strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then?
Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon.
Wait! Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon but purely by accident?
It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer.
Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Oh! Don't seem so bamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney.
Fraud? But I have a badge!
Yeah, you have a badge. You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Mthis Wright.
And what is that?
You should know. You forgot that your thought of a magical client was but at the scene of the crime.
Ah! I mean, the bus looks like the dude.
There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now.
I won't. This is my chance to turn the trial around.
When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. And the season only this, Mr. Mthis Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? The bust. Like, it would have been the bust. Wouldn't?
Well, that's what you're saying. He saw Max's butt. Ow!
I asked who was the other person most saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question.
Au contraire, Mthis.
Oh, the French!
It does indeed have something to do with the question.
The French!
Oh, I know I did it terribly, but still.
I just love the something that's French, because that's a slap in the face to a German.
Au contraire, Mthis. Fully? Is it fully?
I have no idea. I suck at French.
Like, the rest of it I get. En contraire, Mthis. Yeah. I just don't know that last one.
En contraire means on the contrary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Montfrey. I'm not sure.
Something.
I'm not sure Montfrey. It might be me, my friend, but I'm not sure.
It's either. I think because it's free, it might be like lady or something.
Yeah, it might be. I did not expect him to use French.
I like baguettes. Most of that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw.
How is that possible?
It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's ample bust.
Oh, What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case?
I turned it off because this case is stupid.
The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak.
there's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off the cards in the bust's
Oh my god,
hands.
you're right. That would be so easy. Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust?
It doesn't matter who put it on the bust.
Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is something most important in this case, don't you agree?
Ah, you caught me.
So, let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Wouldn't that have been Acro?
So, how much do you remember about the case with the murder and everything? Because, let me ask you this. Where would Acro have gotten the cloak? Because apparently these cloaks and all of Max's stuff are one of a kind. So where would he have gotten the cloak?
Oh my god, did money do it? No, that wouldn't make sense, would it?
So, remember the details of the case. They finished training around 10-ish.
Yeah.
Then Russell and Max in uniform, mind you, went to the ringmaster's room.
Yeah.
Max took his cloak off and hung it up. Minutes later, Russell left.
Oh!
And he was seen wearing a silk hat and a cloak. And the stupid flower thing.
So it would be the ringmaster.
According to Ben and Trillo.
So it would be the ringmaster himself.
Which is so stupid, but you have to think. This case is stupid.
Yeah, that is. Okay.
Ignore logic. Remember, this is anime court. Shit does not make logical sense.
Good thing we're two morons.
I hate being a moron. Who did it? The dad did it.
Him? Are you saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry?
That's what I'm saying.
The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust?
Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it.
What would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this?
No. I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. And it's still a terrible looking puzzle, and I'm not sure it's right, but whatever. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then, he attached that rope to the bust. He dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at that time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now, this is when the magic happens. At the very instant, the bust hit the victim.
Oh! Oh my god.
It's goddamn stupid is what it is.
You wait just a second and say Mr. Finney's right.
When he says magic happened, he really fucking meant it.
Oh my god.
I want an episode of Mythbusters testing that one scene to see if that could legitimately happen.
Did it actually happen? I don't remember that episode.
No, I want them to.
As much as you try. As much as you scheme. This isn't it. Whew. It can't be.
It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet.
What?
It's so fucking stupid. The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. God damn it.
Ow!
I fucking hate this. That impact also caused a sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up.
Why it flew.
And that is how the magical murder disappearing into the sky came to be. This really wasn't a well thought out murder. I mean, if it wasn't for bullshit luck happening, Acro would have been caught day one.
Oh yeah.
With Moe's witness. So, you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. But I have no motivation, Mr. Wright, which means I'm innocent.
Yeah, typical.
I'm sure that's what it's going to be.
Acro's been playing mind games with all of us.
He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now.
So?
What now?
You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. That's right, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they said they want evidence.
I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there's still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account.
Unusual?
A contradiction, actually.
Okay then, what's that? Get out of this then. That's enough of talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magical case. Do we actually have that?
I mean, we have to. We do have proof out of one of these things.
The note?
What's the question? Unravel the trick to this magical case.
Yeah. Which I have.
So we know the hat was found at the crime scene.
Yeah.
We know he was seen with the cloak and the hat walking by Ben. But so where'd the cloak go? He was not found with the cloak. He has no cloak, and the hat was found at the scene. So where'd the cloak go?
I have no idea.
Assuming our theory is completely wrong, there should have been a cloak at the scene.
Yeah.
Assuming our theory is completely correct, the cloak wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But the hat would. Because it had nothing to snag onto, because the hat was already on the bust.
Right. So where is the cloak?
I don't know. He just wants proof that this is what happened.
I'm a little bit confused. Is it just a hat then?
This hat is very important. I think so.
Okay, I guess we try with the hat, because I have no idea what to go from here.
I mean, think about it. His entire thing is true. According to Ben and Trillo, mostly Ben, I'm just going to call him the same. They saw the ringmaster with a cloak, the roses, and the hat.
Yeah.
At the scene of the crime, we only found the hat.
That is true.
By our theory, the cloak went with the bust, and the bust has not been found.
Yeah, that's true.
Which means the cloak is also missing.
Yeah.
So we found only a part of what he was wearing that night, when he should have found more.
So
which gives us evidence that Acro is the one who did it, and our stupid ass magical theory thing is correct.
So it has to be the hat, I think.
That's what I think. The problem is Max's 3 symbols. You know, Silk Hat, Cloak, and White Roses.
Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings.
Yesterday, there were 2 contradictions in Mo's testimony.
The Silk Hat was one, the White Roses were the other.
But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions.
You fool! Do you ever shut up?
Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's.
Makes sense, if you look at it that way. Then he did see the silk hat, well, sort of.
Fine, you've got one. But what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what the ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said there were no white roses because it's on the other side. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick?
Of course, I can explain all of it.
What was that?
Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Fucking stupid. Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust.
Order, order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Carlo will finally throw in the towel. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind?
Yes. What is it?
You took the time to research our circus, didn't you?
Well, yes I did. Is there something making you think I didn't?
If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track.
Why is that?
Motive?
What's Max's motive? What is Max's motive, Von Karma?
Yeah, that's a good fucking question.
If we're talking about motive here, what is his motive? What is Max's motive? He just got a raise a week prior,
Yeah.
and a substantial raise at that. Why would he kill the dude who literally is paying him more money?
Yeah, like, that's a stupid idea.
It has not been publicly stated that Max is after Regina. Or maybe it has, I don't know. The fact is, it couldn't have just happened with like this.
Oh, yeah.
Max seriously has no motive either to do this. I fucking hate this argument because our clients, most of the time, have no fucking motive.
Yeah, basically.
It's so fucking stupid.
Well, this witness feels an incredible depth of gratitude towards the ringmaster.
I fucking hate this game with that one fucking argument.
Because
They don't have a motive. Neither does our client.
it's also because the
Why would Maya attempt to kill this person?
it's also because the ringmaster is not the intended target. Regina was the intended target.
And now he's trying to kill a kid.
Yeah. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster.
Then why would Max kill the ringmaster?
Yeah, like-
Let me say this shit. I want to know what their argument would be.
Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Akko's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do?
Use the same argument as her. What is Max's motive?
I wish. There's no doubting that Acro deeply has respected the ringmaster.
Acro's motive? I fucking hate this
It
argument.
seems that this case isn't over yet.
Like, I wouldn't mind this argument, not one bit, if our clients actually had a motive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this police girl killed her boyfriend. Why? Why the fuck would she do that? What's her motive? She got him a custom-made present. The fuck would she kill him for?
She's a police officer? Her boyfriend is a police officer. Like, that is like, how unlikely is that? Like...
Not as unlikely as you'd think, actually. When you're around someone a lot due to work, workplace relationships can begin.
That's true.
So, but again, there's no motive.
The motive is like a big deal.
If they gave even a basic motive of they got into an argument or something, then at the very least they could still use the argument.
Yeah.
But in this situation, they haven't done anything to give Max a motive to kill the ringmaster.
Yeah.
Because nothing came out. Like, even if they just said, if it got out in the case that Max or the ringmaster denied Max the ability to marry his daughter or something, fine. That could be a motive for Max.
Yeah.
But there's no motive.
Yeah, we've not heard anything about it, so...
For Max to kill the ringmaster. So, them using that stupid-ass argument of Acro had no motive, I counter with, neither does Max. So, we're done here.
Yeah.
Very well.
To your motiving.
However, I feel this is a good place to take a break.
I fucking hate their motive arguments.
Yeah. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. I need to get my lobster lunch.
God damn it.
This call will take a 10-minute recess. I really need to eat that lobster first.
Yeah, he does. I fucking hate the motives.